Concrete Slabs for the Worksite in Sierra Fuerte, Chiapas. Hello there everybody, and welcome to another special episode of SnowRunner here at Overfed Gaming. I am the Overfed. We are just a little bit north of the Precast Concrete Plant, where we picked up our second bundle of concrete slabs. We've already delivered one. We're in the second half of this part of the job, and we got to deliver it to the Worksite up near the top of the map on the left hand side. It's near the tunnel access to the other map. Now we're driving our Mercer R230, and as you can see, deep water doesn't seem to affect him too much. However, traction underneath the water makes a little difference, but he's chugging through there pretty good. Now what I'd like to mention first offhand is the Worksite where we're delivering these concrete slabs to is not a job that has to be done. We can just leave it and not do it and then drive through the mud and area. What these job site tasks do is they make you being able to get around the map a little bit more easily, right? Sometimes they open up detours, sometimes they fill in mud holes where it might be difficult to get through. So the best thing to do is let's just get these jobs done and make it a little bit easier to get the other tasks of the contracts done. So as we're climbing up out of this little mud hole and right back into the deep water, like I said, the Mercer's got a nice high air intake, 320 liters of fuel, but no spare fuel, no repair points. Mercer's an awesome truck. It'd be great if you put a big 2,000 liter fuel tank on the back. He'd be awesome for scouting. But we've already got the ANK civilian for that. So what we'd like to do is incorporate this Mercer into some of our jobs. So we're giving it a couple of go around. Let's see what we can do. Now, he's not going to set any land speed records. He's not a fast truck. He does keep chugging along though, and I'm going to try and run him a little bit more in automatic than putting him in high range of the low gear, although I think when you do that you get a little bit more torque in problem areas of mud and stuff like that. You need a little bit of extra traction, but I think for general driving like we're doing, we can just pretty well keep it in automatic, and we're just going to just when I say that, he shifts her up into the high range of the low gear. Well, we'll see if that can give us a little bit more of a steady speed. Now the Mercer is an awesome little truck. He has a nice low profile, dualies on the back, which gives him a little bit more of a wider stance and a little bit more of a stable connection to the ground that you're driving on. And the roads here in Sierra Fuerte and most of the newer maps, they're very small, narrow, and they take tight twists and turns. Sometimes you got a little bit of a mud section like this, so you just try and stay as far to the left hand side as possible, because even though you could possibly get through there no problem, why take the chance? We don't need to find that out. We want to deliver the concrete slabs to the Worksite so we can have a little bit easier access to the tunnel up there. Now we're traveling in a little bit of a sideways direction as we're trying to get over to the far left hand side before we start moving upwards towards where the Worksite is. A lot of places like right here, I could have gone to the left over top, and I could have gone over here. Either way, didn't seem to make much difference. There wasn't a lot of rocks in the way, so I wasn't going to worry about it. Now there are a couple of areas like this here where there's a hole, and if you go through them a little bit too fast, you will take some damage, so just be aware of that. That's why I try to go through them as slowly as possible. It's the same thing with the bridges on this particular map. There's a few bridges that are like breakaway bridges, But what they do is they break away at an angle on one side and straight up and down on the other. So you can still get over it if you're really careful and you go really slow. You can go down the straight embankment of the side of the bridge and then climb out on the other side. Now luckily enough, this pipe over here, and I don't know if it's going to get repaired. I hope it won't, because it gives us a little bit of a shortcut through here. If we do eventually have to repair that, I think we'll leave that as for a much, much later date. The Mercer just chugs along. Like I said, you could probably get through these narrow, windy roads with the bigger trucks. You probably could, but it is definitely, I've tried using a few of the big trucks, and it is definitely much easier with either the Jiangsu or the Mercer or the Yunk. Now over here too, same thing again. There's two ways you can go, but there look like a lot of rocks down below. So I thought, let's go over the top part. It seemed a little smoother to me. And I guess either way, again, you would have been able to get across. I didn't want to bounce over those rocks, and it does look a little bit of an angle at the end here. So going over top was probably the better way. Now over here too, it's not a difficult route. You're just basically following the road, if that's what you want to call it. And here too, once we get through this complex, we just start heading north. Like I said, I always try to drive a little bit on the side. Hopefully you'll have a little bit better traction. Now here's one of those bridges I was telling you about. When you drive over them the first time, they break and it looks like they stay broken. Now this front part goes straight down, but go really slow, and you won't take no damage, and you can climb right back up out the other side. I mean, I was avoiding using them in the beginning, but it's really hard to try and get around them. So I figured I'd give it a try, and it seemed to work out okay. Because here we are on the road again. Now we've only got one more detour left. It's a little ways up ahead. There's a few little areas like this one here. Ooh. Ran into it a little bit hard. I'm surprised I didn't get any damage there. We got a little bit of I don't know what this area is. A couple of little buildings, and we're not far enough into this season yet to be able to know what everything is, but eventually we're going to get it all finished, one job at a time. For now, we're just going to go straight by. It looks like it's some sort of a cabin manufacturing place. We'll keep that in mind. It's on the far left-hand side of the map. Now we got one more tiny detour to go. And it's just up ahead here. I had the Jiangsu in here for a different job, and I just left them there in case I needed any fuel, and it looks like I'm going to need some because we're down to 127 liters and we still got a little ways to go. So just in case, we'll just get the Jiangsu to give us some. Like that. Now 240 liters, 244, that should be enough. We got a little detour to go up over top of the mountain, and then we'll be right there by the tunnel access. See, the water and the mud does slow it down a little bit, but thankfully he doesn't stop. Pretty tough little trail we got going here. I see something up ahead there. Looks like some sort of a trailer or a little bit of damage there. Looks like some sort of a trailer that's been left here at the peak of this detour, because yeah, looks like some sort of a fifth wheel trailer of some sort. I'm sure we're going to be pulling that down the mountain at one point or another. And I take it we're going to have to be going in this direction, seeing as how he's pointed that way. I don't know how we get that trailer turned around, but that's a worry of a later date. For now, we're still looking to deliver the concrete slabs over to the work site. And I should be just up ahead now, just in case. It's a little bit steep at an angle from left to right, so I thought I'd put it in the high range of the low gear, because that way it gets into a little bit more of a rock crawling type of driving, and it seems to stick a little bit better to the road. Well, we got over that. And there down below you can see the green hashtag box, the drop-off location, because obviously you're not going to see it on the screen because it's not a job that has to be done, but we can see it down below. Anyhow, I hope you liked the video and were able to follow it for a task that we don't really have to do, but probably should, to make our access to the rest of the map a little bit better and easier. Anyhow, until the next time, we've been delivering some concrete slabs in our in our Mercer R230, almost got it wrong, over here down by the tunnel at the work site, with me as your driver, the Opifat.